Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 2025 MCU movie lineup. I'm going to go through each of the 3 movies and rank them by how good I think they're going to be. You got Captain America: Brave New World, you have Thunderbolts, and then you have Fantastic Four: First Steps. We have behind the scenes news, epic potential, and maybe some red flags. So make sure you stick around to the end to see which movie I think is going to be best and why. And having said that, let's get into it. Alright, kicking things off at number 3 is Captain America: Brave New World. Now when this one was first announced, I was all in on it. I love Sam Wilson as a character. I thought he was one of the many things that made Winter Soldier such a great movie. And I really do think that Anthony Mackie has done enough with that role to warrant his own movie. So I was already on board for Captain America 4, but then we started to hear about reshoots, rewrites, everything in between, and so now I'm pretty worried about it. Apparently the movie already had test screenings that did not turn out well. And like I said before, tons of reshoots. Now reshoots aren't a weird thing, it's not out of the ordinary, tons of movies do it. Usually just to tweak things or maybe add a little bit more to the story just to make the movie a little bit better. But the red flag here is that because of those reshoots, the movie's budget is reportedly over $400 million. Which is absolutely ridiculous. That is the budget of 2 Marvel movies put together, and they're gonna bank on this movie being profitable with that kind of budget. It's not gonna work. So yeah, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff of Captain America: Brave New World looks terrible, but the movie itself, based on the trailer, the plot, everything like that, looks pretty cool. You have Harrison Ford as President Ross, and he becomes the Red Hulk, and we also get the return of the leader from the Incredible Hulk. You know, that movie that came out years and years ago. So it is great that we're getting iconic villains in this movie, but I am worried that this could get bogged down by trying to set up the future of the MCU. So I am cautiously optimistic of this movie. I want them to do right by Sam Wilson's character. They're bringing in some great villains that I want to see on the big screen, and the trailer, it looks like Winter Soldier. I really hope they stick the landing, but because of all of those behind the scenes issues, this has to be number 3 on my list. Coming in at number 2 is Thunderbolts. Now, I will be honest, when this movie was first announced, I was not hyped for this at all. I mean, the idea of a bunch of anti-heroes coming together to do some mission, it sounds cool, but just a bit random for what Marvel does. But then we got that first trailer and it completely flipped my opinion. The darker tone, the team lineup, and just the gritty vibe was something new and fresh to the MCU that we have not seen before. So at first the idea didn't work for me, but then now that I see it, playing out in the trailer, it looks great. It's essentially the MCU meets Suicide Squad, but a little less dark. You've got characters like Bucky Barnes, Yelena, and the Red Guardian all coming together for this one, and I think it could be an amazing mix. And one of the best parts about the trailer is Bucky, right? We get to see him on the motorcycle, shooting the thing, blowing up the stuff. He looks threatening. He looks like he's gonna finally have a presence on screen again. We didn't see that since the Winter Soldier. I thought he was great in that. And ever since then, even in all the Avengers movies that came afterwards, he was just kind of there. He didn't really do anything special, and this movie I think has potential for him to be that Winter Soldier again. I just think the MCU could use a darker, grittier storyline right about now. After all, not every character on the team in Marvel's cinematic universe needs to be squeaky clean, right? And we could end up seeing some surprising connections to other characters or even a sneak peek into the underbelly of the MCU. At the end of the day, Thunderbolts went from I'll check it out eventually to I'll be there day one, all because of that trailer. And finally, my most anticipated MCU movie of 2025, Fantastic Four: First Steps. Now I know this isn't the first time we're getting Fantastic Four on the big screen, but let's be real here, every iteration that came before this did not hit the mark. Now I will admit that the ones that came in the early 2000s with Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, those ones were a lot of fun. That and its sequel, tons of fun. But those movies did not age well. Those are the prime examples of when someone says the early 2000s comic book movie, that's what they're talking about. And then we got that 2015 Fantastic Four movie, and I have not heard anyone say anything good about it, ever. So now Marvel Studios has an opportunity here to give us the best iteration of Fantastic Four we have ever seen. They have a great proven cast, and the fact that it's set in the 60s gives me hope that it's a very self-contained story and not worrying about anything that the MCU has done in the past. First Steps just has a lot going for it. Now, even with all the excitement that I have for the movie with the actors, the actresses, the story, the setting, everything like that, there's one thing that is kind of concerning to me, and that is the overflow of characters. Now, this is the introduction of the Fantastic Four in the MCU, right? But we're also gonna get Galactus and Silver Surfer, and now potentially Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Now, if you know anything about the Fantastic Four and all these different characters that I just named, they are all massive characters that Marvel is going to want to use in future movies. So the movie's biggest challenge is introducing all 4 members of the Fantastic Four, their relationship, their chemistry, all that good stuff, and then you're going to throw in the Silver Surfer, Galactus, and potentially Dr. Doom, all in one movie? It just seems like a lot to me, and it does feel unrealistic that they're going to be able to pull that off. But if they do, if they can pull this off, we could end up seeing one of the best MCU movies of all time. but that's a big if. So that's my ranking of the 2025 MCU movie lineup. At number 3, Captain America Brave New World. I'm a bit concerned, but I'm hoping they get it right for Sam's sake. Number 2 is Thunderbolts. This one totally surprised me and I think it's going to be a wild ride. And finally, number 1, Fantastic Four First Steps, the movie that could give the Fantastic Four the spotlight they deserve. But hey, that's just my take. What about you? Let me know in the comments how you would rank these movies and let me know which one you're most excited for. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, remember to subscribe to the channel for movie news, reviews, rankings, recaps, and plenty more. Until the next video, everybody, see you later.